Dr. Clinton?
All right, a second. Good evening, everyone. Are you able to see me and hear me clearly?
Yes, we are able to see you as well as hear you.
All right, wonderful then. Good to be here. So good evening, everyone, from wherever that you are joining us from. My name is Dr. Clinton Kadochi, as rightly introduced by our leader, Judith. I'm glad to be here. It's an honor to be back. I had a great time with you guys earlier this year. I've forgotten the month exactly. Should have been February, if not March. Yeah, you should do it to remind me. Yes, so I've been trying to introduce myself. Oftentimes, I find this question quite difficult because I think I am a man that wears many hats. And so, yes, by profession, I'm a medical doctor, and I also am a counselor, a psychosocial counselor. I help people in cognitive behavioral therapy, and also I train counselors, those that go through psychosocial counseling classes. I'm the one that gets to have that privilege to train them in equipping them to be good counselors that would be able to help people. Aside that, I am also the co-founder and chairperson at Agents of Progress platform. This is a platform that advocates for progress in our personal life and also your professional life. And so we do have a number of programs that are aimed at ensuring that people get to make progress on their personal level, but also on their professional level as well. So that's where I'm usually as a coach and also a mentor. Aside that, I am also a member of Toastmasters International, which is basically an organization that focuses on building leaders. And so at Toastmasters, we say that Toastmasters is a place where leaders are made. And so we believe that leaders are not born, but leaders are made. And I may explain that later on as I continue. And Toastmasters has been a great place that has really helped me to understand leadership in its totality and also mentorship. And so it is one of those platforms for me that has opened my eyes to just get to grasp a number of things, even what I'm going to share today. But I've had the privilege to be elected as the president at Lusaka Executive Toastmasters, and that's where I serve as officer. I would say there are many other hats that I wear, but for now, I think these would be sufficient. But if there would be need for me to introduce any other hats, I would also talk about them. So good evening once again to those that are just joining. Today we have an interesting subject that we are going to look at. I've been having a challenge with my device here. It is disconnecting, and so I may go on with this presentation without getting to share my PowerPoint. Pardon me on that. I will make it available later. Yeah, I think I'll make it available later, or I'll present it on the other day that I'll be with you guys, because I believe I have 2 days to be with you. That being said, I would like to acknowledge the people that are behind this platform, the leaders that have brought us together. It is one thing to have a desire to change people. It is another to be determined and passionate about that change, because if I have really believed something, it is the fact that you cannot change people, you can only influence people. And we influence people by changing ourselves. And so if I develop myself, I will be able to influence you, not change you, because energies always have an effect. So the energy that I develop as I am changing, will definitely be able to be contagious enough to change you. And so I just want to appreciate Judith and the leadership here, and just acknowledge that what you are doing is something that is influencing many lives. And I would just want to empower each and everyone here. You are all leaders. I believe everybody's a leader, but more so that you guys are mentors. You are people that are going to empower other youths. You are people that are going to open the eyes of those that are blinded to particular things that may be hindering them in their life. And so by virtue of being that kind of a person, I would want you to believe that continue with your determination, because your determination will soon be answering a million people's prayers, okay? Continue with your determination. When I began my journey as an inspirational leader, just a thought leader, I did not understand the impact. But then it was later on in the years that have passed that when I look back, I realized that you cannot influence the globe, okay? But you get to have the local influence can enable you to influence the entire globe. Why? Because when you are able to influence one man with your message, that man will influence 2 people, and those 2 will influence 10 other people, and those 10 will influence 50 other people. Those 50 will influence 100 other people, and those 100 other people will influence 1,000 other people, and it goes on, simply because you decided not to let your guard down. You decided to ensure that you gave out what you are capable of giving. So if you are in such a place, please understand that it is an honor to be able to influence other people. It is an honor to change other people's lives, not because of the effect of being famous that comes with it. You know, being famous should not be the reason why you should be doing this, okay? You should be effective in whatever you're passionate about, because if you are, then the effect in itself will be able to have a ripple effect that will change a generation. I usually say that you should be able to work with the conviction that God wants you to be a blessing to your generation. We have had what we call intergenerational trauma, or rather transgenerational trauma, as one that is into psychology and just human behavior science. I come to understand that a lot of things that we are doing today are as the result of what our guardians had gone through, some of the things that they have not handled, some of the challenges that they have not been able to address. Because if you don't address a generational problem, the next generation will be able to address it. Okay? If you don't address a generational problem, the next generation will be able to dress it up. And because they didn't, we are addressing them now, and we are fighting our way through things that didn't start with us. Therefore, this privilege that you have to influence a life should not be taken for granted. I will say this again: work with the conviction, with the persuasion that God wants you to be a blessing to your generation. Okay, that will take you far. It has brought me this far in just the short period of time that I've been doing this. I should confess that I've been in this business for the past decade, and what I have been able to attain right now is something that I never imagined. Not that I have reached where I want to go. According to me, I haven't even started, because my vision is grand. And I believe that it is the same vision that you have as well. You have this desire, you have a particular subject or a particular concern, and you want to see other people become better as well. You are a leader. And if you are a leader, you should understand that if you're going to influence, it will not happen by chance. You have to be determined. You have to put in the work. You have to invest value in yourself. I have my personal slogan. Judith knows it, and any other people that are on the call that are within my circle understand it. And I simply say that I am a person of value that values people and adds value to people. That is my slogan. My organization, Agents of Progress Platform, runs by it. We say that we are people of value, that value people, and add value to people. That is my personal conviction. And even what I'm doing right now is simply because I am a person of value that values people and I'm adding value to people. What is your slogan? What is your mantra? What is your conviction? What is your drive? What pushes you? By the way, the session has already started. It's waiting for me to say we've now begun. So what is it that pushes you really? What is it that makes you a different person? We are living in a time where people are possessed about brands. Everybody wants to have a particular brand. Yes, because we need to be distinguished. We need to be identified. And if everybody is doing similar things, we need to be able to distinguish ourselves. Because if we're able to distinguish ourselves, we will have less unnecessary competition. Recently, I posted something on my page. I said that if you want to avoid unnecessary competition, normalize having people in your circle that are good at what you know the least about, okay? Meaning that you are not necessarily supposed to surround yourself all the time with people that are doing exactly what you are doing, because that way you will have unnecessary stress. We are humans. Oftentimes we find ourselves competing without planning it. And consciously, you find that you are competing with somebody simply because you are doing identical things. But it's important that you place yourself in positions where you have people that are smarter than you in areas you are not totally interested in. Because if those areas were to come in your way to achieve particular things, you'll be able to be confident enough without that insecurity to ask for help, because that is not your area of expertise. And in that way, you will not be able to compete, but you'll be able to be completed by those people. People should be able to complete you in your circle. People should be able to make you become better in your circle and not to have unnecessary competition. Why am I saying all these things? Because they matter. As I am going to talk about how you build trust, they matter even in the structure that I'm going to give you for you to understand how you should effectively mentor the people that are designated around your area of influence. Everyone has an area of influence. I have an area of influence. You have your area of influence. The Bible calls it our dominion mandate. We have a particular area that we are able to have dominion over. Now, I'm not talking about grand things. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. I'm not talking about grand things. Let's calm down. Let's come back to areas that you are passionate about. I believe that there's something that I'm interested in that you are not interested in. There's something that we may all be interested in, but there are particular areas of that matter that you would show much interest in. We may all be students, but there are particular topics that you show interest in. Those are the topics that perhaps you might major in at some time. But if we're to bring it to our context, there are things that you'd want to talk about. There are areas that you are so passionate about, maybe areas to do with menstrual health. Perhaps you are so passionate about those areas, and yet another person is passionate about IT matters. Yet another person is passionate about, global change and climate change and those other things. There are things that you are passionate about, and some of those things are the key secrets to your purpose. They're the key secrets to what you are capable of doing. But the very fact that you're passionate about it does not mean you are equipped, okay? It does not mean that you are totally equipped. You should be able to identify your area of influence and begin to build capacity. Because if you are able to build capacity in your area of influence, then you'll be able to have value addition. When you have value addition, you will be able to be relevant. Everybody can be valuable, but it takes strategy to be relevant. What do I mean? Get a footballer, skilled, Ronaldo, for example, and put him in a basketball court. Will he be relevant? No. He is valuable as a person, but if you put him in the wrong environment, he will not be valuable. He will not be relevant. Okay? He's a valuable person, but placing him in the wrong environment makes him not relevant. Okay? So if you understand your area of influence, what do you need next? You need to understand your environment. You need to understand your target audience, to understand the people that would be able to value your relevance, or people that will be able to value what you contain. Because we have a lot of young leaders today that are exhausted and they think they're doing nothing. And yes, somehow they're doing nothing because they are in the wrong environment, trying to get validation from the wrong environment, from the wrong people. You can't be a footballer and seeking praise from spectators of a rugby or spectators of a basketball club. You need to know your environment. So the fact that you know what you're passionate about, you need to ensure that you add value to yourself. Then when you add value to yourself, you now need to identify your audience, because when you are authentic, the right people will begin to come to you. Okay? Other people will come because they're curious, but other people will come because they're interested in. Sorry about that. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you are.
All right. Thank you very much. Kindly spotlight me again. Kindly spotlight me again. All right. Thank you. Yes. So as I was saying, don't be fooled by people that are just curious. They will come your way and they would not, they will simply distract you. Continue adding value to yourself, because when you add value to yourself, that is what will determine the kind of a leader, the kind of a mentor that you will be. Let's talk about trust now. I wanted to build that foundation because I believe that I'm speaking to leaders. I believe I'm speaking to responsible people. I believe that I'm speaking to people that are changing lives. Now, when I'm speaking to leaders, I speak in a way that should provoke you to become better. Okay, so I will not pamper you in any way. I will try to be, quite direct, because leaders understand the necessity of leadership. When we talk about trust in any setting, in an organization, in a team, in a group of people, in a relationship, anything, okay, trust is about interpersonal relationships. Trust is about an exchange, okay? Trust is about loyalty. But trust also has an element of risk-taking, and I'm going to talk about that soon, okay? Trust has an element of risk-taking, and oftentimes we overlook that, okay? Oftentimes we overlook that. If you want to understand how to build trust in any group, in any team, what you need to understand is to look at trust in its function. Now, I want to pose a question. What is a culture? Okay, what is a culture? Anybody to help us? What do you understand by a culture? Okay, what is a culture? You may unmute and let me just hear other voices so that I'm not the only voice in this training. What is a culture? What do you think culture is? I'd like us to have this background knowledge as we are trying to build an understanding of what we are really talking about. Anybody to try, what is culture? What is culture, or what is the culture? Anything, please here, feel free. Your answers are correct. Nobody is wrong. Okay. Nobody is wrong. What is a culture? Yes, mentors, please come through.
Doc, can I try?
Definitely, you are free to try.
Okay, so I think, or from what I know, a culture is a mixture of ideas, customs, and behaviors of particular people or particular group of people per se. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hello. Can I have the name, please? Okay. Is okay, anyone else to try, or anybody else to help me with the name of the person that just spoke?
Oh, my name is Nomalang.
Nomala. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for attempting. Thank you. Anybody else to try? Let's have just two more before I jump in. What is a culture? What is culture? What is culture? What do you think culture is? Feel free to try, feel free to try. We're simply having a conversation here. So we've had the first attempt, which is a mixture of particular people. I think that's what was said. Okay, a mixture of particular people.
Can I try, sir?
Definitely you can.
Okay, in my own understanding, I think culture is a way of life that includes the art and the belief of people in a population that is passed on from generation to generation. Jane Mofia.
All right, Jane, thank you very much. All right, the last one. Or are we okay with the two answers that have been shared already? All right, I'll take it that we're okay with those two answers that have been shared already. So we've seen, firstly, from Nomala that it has to do with people, so a mixture of people, as she had said, a mixture of particular people. And then we've also heard from Jen Ophia that it is a way of life. I think there's some keywords that I would pick from what she said. She used art, then she also used beliefs. And apart from that, she also said something very important. She said it is passed on from generation to generation. Okay, so this simply means that culture is something that is valued. Okay, culture is something that is valued. And in saying so, I would also add on that culture is a set of shared values. Okay, it's a set of shared values. Now, if you go to Zanaco or FNB, or any other banking hall, and they treat you in a bad way, okay? Maybe they delay to attend to you, and they end up not even seeing you, and they say, come tomorrow. Tomorrow you go, they treat you the same. And it's as though they don't have time for you. You go there again, you have another situation. What will you say? You are likely to say they have a bad working culture, or you are likely going to talk about how you felt. That is what you're going to talk about. If you go to ShopRite or any other place where you get to shop and all that, and you find that the person that is on the cashier, or rather the teller, gets to treat you quite well. They're smiling, and they're asking anything else you would need and all that. They treat you quite well. You are going to say something good about them because they have treated you well. It has much to do with how they've made you feel. Okay, it has much to do with how they've made you feel. And by the end of the day, you are likely to say they have a positive or welcoming culture. Okay, they have a good way of attending to you. Now, this is the way that I'd want us to look at the phrase or the word culture. Culture has everything to do with a set of values. It has everything to do with how people get to feel. This is why we talk about different cultures. Could be the Chinese culture, could be the European culture, the Western culture. It has everything to do with how people get to feel. The same way, in any team, in any organization, there is what we call a working culture. And I would want you to believe that trust is one of the key empowering cultures in an organization. Trust is one of the key empowering cultures in an organization. Why do I say so? Because it talks much about how people feel than what they do. It talks much about how the working environment is than what the work is itself. Many organizations today, many groups of people are very busy not achieving their purpose. They are very busy setting records of the things that they have done. So you would find that a number of organizations will be focused on their portfolio. They'll be focused on ticking what they've done in the year. Or in January, we went to this orphanage. Or in May, we gave out this much to, it could be an orphanage, it could be to a school, or in June, we visited this, or we did that, or we campaigned for this. And much of the work really is on the activities, the projects. But how about the working culture? Is it a culture that builds trust? Is it a culture that empowers people to feel at home, to feel belonging as they are working? Is it a culture that makes people trust one another? Is it a culture that makes people believe that they are in the right environment, doing the right task with the right people? So if we're going to talk about building trust, we need to understand that it is about having that empowering culture that gives you a sense of belonging. Are you in a group of people that give you a sense of belonging? In this group, right here where we are, how many are we? We're about 10, meaning we're about 9 of you. Do you have a sense of belonging in your team? Do you have a sense of belonging in this organization? Do you feel as though you are part, or you simply come and do the activities and go? You simply work for the owners of this organization. So building trust hinges on that core need of the feeling of belonging. It is a feeling. And so you may be working at a particular way, but you don't have that feeling. Do you know what that does? It takes away the pride of belonging. And if it takes away the pride of belonging, then it makes the members, or you as a member, not witness or evangelize the good works and the purpose or the mission of your organization. It would mean that you will not be proud to share that you belong to CDEF. It means that you will not be in a place where you would want to tell other people about what you guys do, or to even say that I belong to this group of people. Why? Because there is that lack of trust, which is a culture, which is a feeling, which is a boost, which is something that makes you have an identity in any group. If you don't trust your partner, you will not come and tell me that is your partner, because you already have some insecurity. If you don't trust the people that you are working with, you will hardly share with the world that those are part of you, because you don't want to identify yourself with them. Is this making sense before I continue? Is this making sense? Am I sharing things that are making sense or relatable? I'm trying to build a foundation upon which we would be able to do the right things. Because in as much as we are a part of a particular team, it is very much crucial that the things that we are doing are making us feel that we are in the right place, doing the right things with the right people. Okay, that is very, very much essential and important for you as a member. And if you are able to do that, whatever task that you be given, whatever task that you hold, whatever role that you play, you'll be able to play it without any complaints, without any confusion, because you will be doing it from a place of belonging. If you are to train other people, you will be doing it not because you are a freelancer or simply a volunteer, but you'll be doing it because you belong. We are CDEF. And so we are giving these trainings. We are empowering these youths. We're enabling them to become people of value that value people and add value to people. So it is very much key for you to understand some of these dynamics that help you to know that building trust in itself begins from understanding that it is a culture. And if it is a culture, then you have to live it. If it is a culture, then there should be some shared values. Okay, there should be some shared values. What are the values that you share? What are the core values that you share? Because if you have an understanding, if you have a shared understanding of the core values that you hold in a group, in a team, if you understand those, you'll be able to share them without complaints or without ease. You'll be able to share them because you know that these are the things that are expected of us in this place. And if they're expected of us in this place, then we should be able to execute them the right way. I want to talk about two things, or rather two areas that would help you in building trust. The first, communication with clarity. Okay? Communication with clarity. Where there is no communication with clarity, there is confusion. Okay? Where there is no communication with clarity, there is confusion. What is communication about? Communication in an organization, communication in a team, draws back or comes or originates from the vision and the mission. So what is the mission of your team? What is the mission of your organization? What is the mission of the place that you are volunteering? What do they believe in? What are they trying to achieve? What is it that they've projected, that they're aiming at, that you are a part of? Because if you don't know that, then you are simply a person that is a spectator. You're simply a person that does not understand why you are in the team. Because if you don't know the mission or the core values or even the vision, then what is it that you're communicating to the people that you are assigned to train, people that you are assigned to empower, people that you are assigned to mentor? Because whatever you do should be in alignment to the vision of CDEF. If it is not, then you are a person with your own agenda. Okay? If it is not in alignment with what has been stipulated, then you are doing your own agenda. You're doing what you think is right, but not everything that you think is right is right. Because remember, I said we have influence, but we need to identify our environment. We need to identify our audience. So if you are here, then there is a particular environment that you should be aiming at. And the mission will be able to guide you. And if you are going to communicate, because everybody is communicating, right now I'm communicating. What I'm communicating is simply what I understood as an assignment that I have to train you guys. And if I have to train you guys on matters to do with trust building, or building trust, we should be able to understand some of these fundamentals, because they are key in ensuring that we have a successful experience, because we're experiencing one another as we are here. I'm experiencing a part of you as you're responding. You're experiencing a part of me as I'm pouring out what I'm pouring out. So the mission statement is key for you to know. If you don't know it, try to look at it. If there's already a website, try to look at it. If there's already a page, try to look at it. If there are any documents around, try to look at it, revise, get to know where you are, what you're doing, why you are here. Okay? Get to understand all those things, because those things are key. So communication with clarity starts from the mission, the vision, the core values. You need to grasp these things. Otherwise, you'll be a person with your own personal agenda. You may be good at whatever that you are good at that may have landed you an opportunity in this organization or in this foundation. But as you are a member of this organization, understand that they are values. There are sets of values put here, and they all begin with the mission, the vision, the values. Okay, these things are key. The next thing is quite practical, under communicating with clarity, because if we are able to communicate with clarity, we need to understand the two key fundamentals. And this is basically feedback and follow-up. Okay, people get to trust you more when you are a person that gets to build a relation with people. And when you have a good relation with people, then you'll be able to have good feedback and good follow-up. Most people fail to follow up on particular tasks because they are not in good terms with the person they want to follow up. So they have to wait for the person to come. And if it doesn't come, they'll never follow up because, well, they're having ego battles. Okay, funny enough. But then John C. Maxwell says something very, very, very profound. He says that if you don't get along with people, you will not go along with them, or rather, they will not go along with you. Okay, a leader that doesn't get along with their members will not go along with that leader. Okay, your members will not go along with you. So you need to understand that part of communication is getting along with your people, because that is the only way they'll get along with you. Whatever group of people that you be assigned to mentor, whatever information that you'd be giving them, get along with them. You're not an instructor, you're not a boss, you're not a master. You are a mentor. A mentor is a person that is able to have empathy. Empathy enables you to have empathetic listening. What do I mean? Simply understanding the people from their place from their place, okay? And communicating from their place, using their language. As a mentor, you don't act as a boss or a person that other people should really respect so much, just so that they have access to you. I've seen quite a lot of those things by other people that misunderstand what mentorship is about, because mentorship is about a relation. The many people that I mentor, I have the relationship with them. I'm able to joke, I'm able to laugh, I'm able to act at their level because I want to benefit them by the end of the day. With my mentors as well, I have a particular relation with. I am able to at least operate at their level, able to think at their level. I'm able to, do things that would help them get to my place as well. So as a mentor, you're not a boss, you're not a master. Be a friend first, because that is the only way you'll be able to understand some of the challenges that your people would be facing. That is the only way they'll be able to relate with you. You won't be an alien, because aliens are, people that we fail to relate with, or a robot. Robots have no emotions, and so people would not have the courage to approach you because you are unapproachable by the energy that you give. Okay, so it's very much important that you are an empathetic person. Follow-up and feedback is key, but if you will not be a person that gets along with your people, follow-up and feedback will be quite it'll be quite impossible to achieve, because you are supposed to follow up on matters that you assign. You're supposed to seek for feedback on matters that you assign. And oftentimes people may get so busy because we are ever busy. Judith understands that. Sometimes people may get so busy because it's a busy world. But if there is no follow-up on a message that you left, then you may be waiting forever. Oftentimes people just get busy, but it's important that you always ensure that there is that follow-up. And if you are the one that has been assigned, try to ensure that you give the feedback, okay? Because feedback and follow-up is the key. Whether you're the person who communicated last, follow up. Whether you're the one who's supposed to give feedback, follow up and give that feedback. So follow-up and feedback are key to effective communication in any group, even in a relationship. There is always that desire that you should follow up on something that was to be done or was not done. So follow-up and feedback is key for clarity. All these things, they are small things, but they matter when it comes to trust, because you are helping your people to know that you are a person that is accessible, a person that is available. So it is something that should be able to at least change your perception of a number of things that you do. The second thing, in relation to building trust. So we've talked about communication. So communicate with clarity. It begins from the mission, core values. Understand that that's the only way you'll be able to trust people, because you can't trust people that don't know your mission. Okay, you can't trust people that don't know your core values. They'll be bringing in other things that aren't related to your vision, that aren't related to the shared values of what you stand for as a team. So this is why it's important that in building clarity or in building trust, you understand the importance of communication with clarity. And it begins with your foundations, your mission, vision, and core values. The second thing is that you need to lead with trust building actions. Lead with trust building actions. What do I mean? Trust building actions is simply extending trust. We have leaders that withhold trust. Okay, what do I mean? Trust building actions, withholding trust. Let me explain this better. In every leadership setting, there are roles. So there is a treasurer, okay? There is, it could be the director or chief executive officer. There are all these other committees where people have particular assigned roles and duties. So if I ask anybody what your role is in this organization, you would be able to tell me the things that are your responsibility, which could be your roles or your duties, whatever that you would call them, roles or duties. Okay? So there are things that you are supposed to do. There are particular things that you are supposed to do. There are particular things that a publicity secretary is supposed to do in a team. There are particular things that the treasurer is supposed to do in a team. There are particular things that a secretary is supposed to do in a team. But you as a leader, okay? You as a leader, maybe the overall leader, the founder, okay? you are supposed to ensure that you are leading your people with trust building action. What do I mean? It means that you're supposed to respect them enough or respect them enough to execute what you have communicated to them, because them knowing their role and duties means that you have communicated their role and duties. But you have to ensure that they are in a place where they are capable of executing their roles or their duties. Of course, after having a training and orientation where they get to know what they're supposed to do. And so you now need to allow people to execute their responsibilities in an innovative way, to execute their responsibilities without you getting in the way. Okay, so for example, who do we have on the call? Who should I use? Okay, let's say, what name can I see? I've heard from Jen already. Okay, let's say Ngosa. Hello, Ngosa, how are you? Oh, there are two Ngosas.
Hi, how are you? I'm actually working now, so that's why I can't talk, but I'm listening to you.
Okay, wonderful, no problem, Ngosa. So let's say that Ngosa is my graphic designer, okay? Ngosa is the graphic designer of the group. And I tell Ngosa that, well, Ngosa, I want you to prepare for us, a poster for our next event. And you understand that the graphic designer is the one who's supposed to prepare the posters and every other publicity documents and all that. And so Ngosa delays to prepare, okay? Deadline hits and Ngosa hasn't communicated, all right? Deadline hits, Ngosa hasn't communicated. Yes, it is within your right as the leader or the person in charge to either create another post, or to create an alternative post, or to communicate, to follow up. Ngosa, what's the problem? Are you okay? Why haven't you created the post? Because the deadline has already reached. Okay, so you have two options there. You would either ignore the fact that he has not communicated, so you do it your way, or you would communicate, or you would follow up. Let me use the right words. You would follow up and try to ask, Ngosa, what is the challenge? Are you okay? Are things okay with you? I've been waiting, but you haven't done the task. Now, you simply doing that will stir up a particular trust in Ngosa, because he knows that you care and you have followed up for a purpose, okay? There are some leaders, there are times even myself at some point, I did some of these things where I would just step in the way of the leader who's responsible of a particular theme without communicating quite well. I just step in the way and I get to do what they were assigned to do because they have not done it, okay? So because I feel they've wasted time, I just get to do it myself. Then later on, Ngosa gets to see it on the page. And Ngosa is like, but I was almost submitting my work. So when you do that to Ngosa, Ngosa will feel he's not trusted and he will step back a bit. The next time that you give him an assignment, he'll be quite hesitant. You would think that, well, he's learned, so next time he'll do it fast. Not so with human nature. He will be hesitant and he may be slow, thinking that, well, you are likely to do it again. Worse off if you don't communicate after that. And so particular leaders that lead with silence at times, you do something and you, in your mind, you are thinking that, well, I'm teaching him a lesson, I'm teaching her a lesson, so next time she should be able to do it on time. But that in itself, if you don't get to discuss it, would be an hindrance on building trust. And Ngosa next time may not be able to do the work effectively, because after all, you are leading with trust-taking actions. You don't trust him enough, okay? Other examples that I would give about leading with, trust-taking actions, because what you need to do is to lead with trust-building actions or trust-giving actions. But most times, leaders tend to take away the trust from their members by stepping in and doing what they are supposed to do without communicating, without getting to know if the leader has a reason to why they've not done it or not. Okay, these are some of the things that we really get to face, and it's important that we just get to talk about them in a practical way. I may not give the correct exact examples, but with these examples I'm giving, I'm hoping that you are grasping something by the end of the day. So the other example that I would give is where a leader is supposed to lead a particular program, and because they have to do things and they don't get to do them the right to do it to that very leader that, I thought, and so you'd say that, well, I thought you are not doing it right, so I brought in another person to do it. And oftentimes we don't even say that. We'd often just bring in another person, and that person was supposed to do it. We'll see the other person doing it. And because of that, you take away the trust. So these people will not feel belonging. This is why I started with explaining that trust is a culture that makes you feel that you belong. So the way that you treat your members, the way that you treat the people that you are mentoring, your mentees, matters. They get to know that, okay, this person trusts me. That is why they cared enough to communicate, even when I did something wrong. The reason why I'm saying this is because good leaders, great leaders, develop as a result of mistakes. Today, I would say that I'm a great leader because of the mistakes that I've made. I have had people supervising me that have helped me in the times of my wrong, the times of my shortcomings, the times that I didn't own up to what I was responsible to do, the time that I messed up the procedure, even in the hospital as a doctor. There are other things that I messed up, and the seniors, people that were in charge of me, were able to say, no, you should have done this. Why didn't you do this? No. The reason why that is important is because accountability is the cement to trust. If there is the fact that you are able to communicate, ask, bring them to the books, and they get to explain why, that is accountability. Because accountability is the cement of trust. If people don't realize that they are supposed to be accountable to what they are doing, they will mess up and will continue messing up, and the culture will be about messing up. Therefore, you will be building a mess up foundation, a mess up organization, because people know that I will not be accountable to what I do. That is why people will not attend meetings, because they are not accountable to them attending or not attending. People will not do the adequate things that they're supposed to do when you get out for an outreach or any project that you'd have on the grounds. They are not doing the exact things that they're supposed to do because there's no communication and there's no accountability, there's no trust. Okay, so accountability is critical because it builds trust. When people are accountable, when you're able to follow them, they will know that our leader is serious or my mentor is serious. So accountability is very much critical in building trust. So this is why you need to ensure that whenever they fail, or when they fail, because they will fail, when they mess up, because they will mess up, when they make mistakes, because they will make mistakes, okay? This is why it's very much critical to know that every mentee that you have, allow them to be themselves, allow them to mess up in your presence, because there's one thing that I was taught one time in the hospital. I was taught that make enough mistakes when you have a senior or a mentor, because when they are no longer there, you will face the consequences, okay? Make enough mistakes. So give them that environment to make enough mistakes as you are training them, as you are showing them the right way of doing things. And they will make you feel as though at some point you're doing nothing, because, well, that's how we learn. Oftentimes people just make mistakes. I am a person that is free with seeing people make mistakes and correct them, because in life you're either winning or losing, and the two do not speak much about your value or your worth, because when you win, you'll be a good leader. When you lose, you'll be a good guide. And most people that have developed a lot of great men in life are people that guided people. I consider myself as a guide. I guide people through different matters, even through my counseling sessions with different people that I get to have. I simply guide them. And it's important that you understand that there is always something to do, whether you win or you lose. When you win, lead. When you lose, guide. You cannot give an excuse, okay? Because you can't be in between. When you win, lead people. When you lose, guide people. You always have something to do. So as you are mentoring people, understand that you should be able to trust. So what is trust? Trusting is basically letting go of power or control to allow others to take up the responsibility, okay? When you let go of a particular task, or you let go of power, you let go of control, that way, other people will have the confidence to lead in their element. They'll have the confidence to do the task in their element. They'll have the confidence to become better in their own element. Okay? So please, how many minutes do I have? Okay. So they'll have the confidence to do things in their own element because you are trusting them enough and you're bringing them to the books. You are making them accountable. Now, I'd like you to write these a few points that I just want to share. So my gadget from which I was supposed to share my PowerPoint is still off, and there's a statement that I wanted to read out that I placed in the PowerPoint that I can't remember word for word, but I'll try to recall what I was saying so that I write it on the paper. But anyway, let's do this. So I want you to write these two things. The first should be that clarity, okay, without trust or communication, whether clarity, anything, but yeah, just write clarity, and by clarity, I mean communication, okay? So clarity without trust produces fear and inaction. Clarity without trust produces fear and inaction. Most people, when you've communicated to them what they're supposed to do, but you haven't trusted them enough to execute, to perform. You haven't trusted them enough. Okay, you're not giving them the chance. So you've communicated, you've trained them, you've taught them all that they're supposed to do, but you're not giving them the performance stage. You're not trusting them enough to carry out a particular project. You're not giving them an assignment to train other people. You're not giving them room to execute their roles, okay? Clarity without trust will produce inaction and fear. Meaning that, yes, they know what they're supposed to do, but the fact that you did it last time instead of allowing them to do it, the fact that you don't show them that you trust them enough to lead on your behalf, the fact that you don't give them the platform to be able to carry out something that you are training them for, they would develop fear and inaction. They will not act because they don't know, they haven't practiced what you train them. Okay, so this is very much key for you to understand as a mentor or as a leader. Okay, clarity without trust will always produce fear and inaction. So you'll be grooming people that are sheep, people that are unable to act, people that are unable to execute because they don't know if they should be able to do it, because you're not giving them that environment that empowers them to understand that they can do it as well. The next thing that I would want you to write is that trust without clarity. Okay, now let's say trust without clarity, all right? Trust without clarity produces work without direction. Trust without clarity produces work without direction. What do I mean? You remember when I said that there are organizations today that are so busy doing projects, doing the work, ensuring that everything that they are doing on a weekly basis, monthly basis is on social media and everybody sees what they're doing. These are people that oftentimes don't have direction. Why? Because yes, you've trusted people to carry out these tasks, but you haven't clarified your mission. You haven't clarified your vision. And so you'd find that you have a group of people who are energetic with their own agendas, but they are everywhere. And you wouldn't be surprised if you find them doing other things that you have not communicated. And so it's important that in as much as you want to feel, in as much as you want people to feel that you trust them, it's important that you also clarify what you're trusting them with. At every inauguration of a president in any country, they are given particular laws that they stand by, and they swear and promise to them holding to whatever their office stipulates. That is them in that time swearing to say, I believe what has been communicated to me and I will be able to execute it. Okay, I'll be able to execute it. So yes, you may have talented people on your team, you may have gifted people on your team, but they are gifted because they have that uniqueness to them. Now, that uniqueness to them should be able to marry your mission, should be able to marry your vision. That is where clarity comes in. So trust without clarity will produce work without direction, meaning you will not have an identity at some point because you'll be doing almost everything. But it's important that you understand that in as much as you may have the most top gifted people in your team, you still need to communicate. Don't be intimidated by how great a team you have because of how unique they are, how good they are at communicating, how good they are in their own respective brands, how good they are at whatever it is that they have amassed before joining your team. Don't be intimidated by that. When they're in your circle, in your team, it is your mission that should govern the work. So communicate your mission. Communicate what is it that you stand for. Communicate your values so that you have a shared set of values. Because if you do so, you would not have a misdirection at some point. If you do so, you have members that are dedicated because they know that you trust them and you have communicated their purpose. Therefore, they will be able to do things within the jurisdictions of your mission. Okay, so that is very much important. So I'll just go through those again. Clarity without trust produces what? Anybody to finish that for us? Clarity without action produces what?
Produces fear and inaction.
Great. And trust without clarity produces what?
Work without direction.
That is applicable anywhere. Okay, it's applicable anywhere. Even as you become parents, that will be applicable because you would want to ensure that you have a family mission that is communicated to your children so that they know that, oh, okay, here, there are these things that we do, these things that we don't do. Here, we value these things, these are things we don't value. So it's important that you understand that. Now, let's quickly get into what I call the 99% rule of networking. I want to talk about this because it hangs on you getting to mentor youths. Okay, I hope I share this in 5 minutes so that I just allow questions to come through. Now, there's what I call the 99% rule of networking. This is a phenomenon that I have been living by. It's been quite effective so far. And it is something that I also share in the book that I'm writing. Okay, so the 99% rule of networking is simply states that as a person, you need to be able to network on 3 levels. 3 levels. 3 levels, 3 groups of people with 3 different purposes. The first level is that you need to be able to have people in your circle mentoring you, people that are 10 times better than you. 10 times better than you. Why is this important? These people, firstly, should not be people that are in books. And by that I mean, should not be people that are dead. Miles Monroe is a good mentor, but he shouldn't be on this list. He's dead. Okay? These people should be people that you are able to access. And by that, I'm not saying that you can be mentored through the products and materials of people that are dead, but it just doesn't apply to my rule, the 99% rule, okay? So the 99% rule simply means that you need to have this first category, and you need to understand it this way. If you're writing, you can say 33%. Okay, the first 33% should be people that are 10 times better than you and people that you are able to access. People that you're able to access. Could be online, could be physical, but you're able to access them. This is why in my 99% rule, the first category of mentors, I take away people that are dead because you can't access them. You can't go to the graveyard and talk to Miles Monroe. Okay, you can't talk back. So you need to have people that are 10 times better than you, people that you're able to access. John C. Maxwell has got great books. He's a good mentor. He's still alive. If you want him under this list, have access to him. If you currently don't have access to him, don't add him on this list. If you are able to have access to him, add him to the list. If you're ambitious enough to put a target that in 2 years' time, you should get to have access to him, well, try to put him there. But the only people that should be here should be people that you have access to. Why? Because they will be able to have time to pour in you what you need to be poured into. They will be able to have a relationship with you that a dead person cannot have a relationship with you with. So it's very much critical that you understand that the first 33% should be people 10 times better than you in your field of interest, in your field of concern, in your field of passion, in whatever skill that you want to develop. So it should not be one person, it should be different people. I have different mentors, okay? I have different mentors in different fields or in different areas that I have concern and passion in. So have these people. There may be 10, but ensure that you have access to these people. Ensure that you are able to give them a call and they will respond. Ensure that these are people that you're able to text and they will respond. Not people you admire and they are in the USA, they're in Europe, they are, away and they don't even know you. No, I'm not talking about those people. It's good to have those people as role models, but not under the 99% rule of networking, because this helps you to be cultured and mentored quite well. So that's the first. The second category is also 33% of people that are your peers, people that are doing what you're doing. And by peers, I don't mean the same age, people that are at your level in terms of personal growth, people that are at your level in terms of professional growth, people that are at your level in terms of career growth, people that are at your level in terms of business, people that are at your level with the mind, people that can hold a conversation at your level, people that can give you healthy competition, and people that can be able to complete you. Okay, so they can either give you healthy competition and they can also complete you. By healthy competition, I mean those friends that you have around that you achieve goals with. Those friends that you're able to have as accountability partners and to tell them, yeah, let's do this. Those are called peer mentors. Okay, so you need to have at least 5 or 10. If possible right now, I'll give you this assignment to write down these people. So the first 33% is people that are better than you 10 times and you have access to them. If you have some, start writing them down right away. Okay? So we're on the second level. The second level is basically your peer mentors, people that are at your level. And I'm not saying they should be your age mates. No. You may have somebody who's 30 years older than you, but they're at your level. Okay? And at the same time, you have somebody who's 20 years younger than you, but they're at your level. Life, there's no balance. So have those people on your list. Right now, if you're able to write some names that are popping, it could be your besties or anything like that, right? Put them there. Why? Because you need to be in reality, and your peer mentors help you to be in reality. There are just some markers at times. You'll be able to see that, okay, there's this idea that I have. Who can I share it with? Who can I brainstorm with? Who can be able to add value to this the way that I'm seeing it? And there are just some peer mentors. And you find that there are some people that are at your level and you just admire what they do. You are not in any competition with them, but you love them for what they do. You love them because they are able to pray with you. They are able to rebuke you. They are able to hold you accountable. They are able to make you realize that, there's a better thought to this. Okay, so it's important that you have that category. The last is another 33%. Now, this should be 33% of people that look up to you. 33% of people that look up to you. Do you have people that look up to you? Or you simply have people you look up to? That's an imbalanced life. You need to have people that look up to you. Now, these people should be able to look up to you for advice, for solutions. People that will make you study hard because they are looking up to you. People that will make you not remain on the ground when you fall because they are looking up to you. People that you would be able to just make you a responsible lady or a responsible man because they are looking up to you. Again, do you have a list? 5 and more. Write them down. People that you'd be able to sacrifice for because you want them to become better. You want them to not make the mistakes that you've made. People that you'd want to share your story to and give them hope that you are also once where they are and you are able to become better. Or rather, they are able to become better. People that you'll be able to tell that I was a nobody, but now I am somebody. I was worthless, but now I'm worth more. People that will hear your story. People that will believe you. People that will be able to look up to you and just give you that honor that you deserve as a person. People that will be able to recommend you to others. People that will be proud to say, Ngosa is my mentor. 33%, those are 3. And if you add 33, 33, 33, it gives you 99. That is my 99% rule of networking. You need to network with these 3 because they give you a sense of meaning in life. The people that are 10 times better than you will guide and instruct you. You will be accountable to them. The people that are at your level will be able to regulate your ambition because you'll be able to see that, oh, I am capable of doing this because there are these people. The people that are looking up to you will be able to make you have a better pace in life. Okay? They'll be able to make you have a better pace in life. At least you'll not just be running too fast without having a direction. At least you would be able to know that if I mess up, they are watching because they depend on me. All right, let's wrap up here. Let me receive questions. I was given an hour, 30 minutes, so I'm trying not to use overtime. Let's have some questions because I don't want to talk more. I have another session with you guys, so I'll be back and I should be able to add in a few other things as well. I will come with a different topic, but if there'll be need to add on what we've talked about here, we'll definitely get to add on. For now, let's have question time. Question time is reasoning time. Question time is time to take me back to a few things that you'd want clarity on. And yeah, so let's get to hear some feedback and questions and anything that you'd want me to highlight on. Over to you, Madam Moderator. Do we have a moderator?
Yes, I'm still here. So if you guys have any questions, kindly just unmute yourself, or you can just raise your hands. Or if you are bored enough, just perfect.
Good.
Okay, so Doc, it's me again, Nomalanga. And my question is coming from the section where you spoke of communication with clarity.
Yeah.
So under this, when you were giving us one of the most important work cultures, which is trust, you emphasized on how it is important for us to follow those steps, like you told us about feedback, you told us about following up with your team and all that. But you also expressed how you must be empathetic towards them, because that helps you gain their trust. If you feel what they feel and you also share in empathy with them. So how do you put a balance on that type of empathy and you and them being over familiar with you, or you being too friendly with them? How do you draw that balance where you can still gain their trust and you can still go to a certain limit without overdoing it?
All right, wonderful question, Nomala. There, I appreciate that question. That question will be able to open a few things to other people as well that may have had the similar question. And here's how I'm going to explain it. You know, it is very much important, especially that you talked about that familiarity. There's always that aspect of wanting to ensure that people don't get too familiar, because if they get too familiar with you, they may, you know, not be able to do things the way you'd want them to do. That is where boundaries actually come in, okay? That is where boundaries actually come in. Now, matters to do with leadership, it's the same with parenting at times, because parenting is really much about boundaries and bonding, okay? About boundaries and bonding. The same way as a mentor, you should have boundaries, but you should also have access to bonding, meaning that they should be aware that they should bond with you, but they should also acknowledge your set boundaries. And boundaries come in when they know what they, or rather the objective of your relation. Every relation has got objectives, okay? What are the things that they are able to share about, or ask you about, or, you know, talk about, or, you know, want your attention for? You know, there should be some objectives. Yes, oftentimes most mentors do not get to have a terms and condition kind of mentorship relationship, but I've been in an organization. It's actually called the FTK Mentorship Alliance. Okay, FTK Mentorship Alliance is one platform that I was made to join. That should have been last year from September. Yeah, and so they have this organization where different youths join, and when they join, they get to apply for mentorship. And when they receive their application, they couple them with a mentor who suits their needs and what they want to do. And so when that happens, they get to sign the terms and conditions of the mentorship. Okay, and so I was one of the mentors at that time. In fact, that program ended this year in March. So there was the terms and conditions that we signed, okay? And because of that, it was able to give the mentee the boundaries of exactly what was expected. So in as much as I was empathetic and welcoming, the mentee knew what to do and what not to do. The mentee knew what was expected of me. The mentee knew the objectives. The mentee knew the topics and subjects we were only supposed to talk about. And there was also an issue of respecting time of our appointments. So it was just like a therapy session where you would book and you'd get to be spoken to. So the same way, we had particular times that mentees would, would get into the Zoom meeting and would have that conversation based on what was scheduled on that day. Now, why am I sharing this? I'm just trying to give you a picture that it is possible to have an organized sense of mentorship. It is possible for you to have a mentorship with structure, not one where you just do things in and out because, well, you feel like. It is possible to have a structure in your mentorship session, your mentorship relationship, whatever it is. And when you have structure, when you put in structure helps you to practice things that would not be able to break into the other person's boundaries or the other person's privacy. So when you have that structure, to help you to practice principles, and principles always govern. And so where there is governing, there will be peace, there will be growth, there will be results, because you are able to govern yourselves. So I'm sharing this way to understand that it is possible for you to bring in a structure in your mentorship group, in your mentorship team, mentorship relationship, and just get to know that, oh, our objectives here are 1, 2, 3, 4. That is not you being too serious. No, it is just you having order. And so setting structures of order, and that way you will regulate any means of people getting to feel as though they are able to get in your privacy, or able to, break the bounds and all that. So when you set in order, have a structure, it will be easy. If I was your mentee, I will know that, oh, there is order here, and I can misbehave or I cannot misbehave. But at the same time, always uphold the sense of belonging. It is possible for people to have a sense of belonging and still behave orderly. You don't have a sense of belonging by being spoiled. No, okay? So it is very possible that people can have a sense of belonging and still observe the structure that has been set. So you can be definitely empathetic and still have a structure, as long as you, as the mentor, observes that structure. I don't know if that answers your question. All right, you are welcome. Norma?
All right, guys, do we have more questions? Just unmute yourself. Anyone that would want to ask a question, just be bold and mute yourself and ask a question.
Why are people not asking? Is my face scary? Is my face scary? Judith, what have you told your people? Is my face scary?
I equally don't know.
Okay. If there are no questions, we may have some feedback as we are concluding, perhaps. Anything
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, there's one. There's one more question from the hand.
oh, okay. She can come to you.
I'm sorry for taking you back. I just wanted to also understand one last thing on your 99% rule of networking. I think it's very credible. But my question comes on, especially you had emphasized on the second one being people who are at your level. So it means these are people who are healthy competition. So obviously my question is coming from there, the healthy competition, because there's sometimes when instead of you having healthy competition to either push you to achieve what you can, you start to compete in a negative way, or even the very fact that they are progressing kind of like, sets you off course. Maybe you start focusing way too much on, oh, who's doing this? How far have they gone with it? So how do you still have healthy competition while you focus on your main vision?
All right. Thank you so much for that important question. That's a smart question. Thank you very much, because this is something we can't overlook. We can't overlook the fact that we are people that are ever looking what is the other person doing. We can't overlook that. That is naturally human behavior. We want to grade our worth based on what others are doing. Are we better than them today? Are we better than them tomorrow? We want to grade our worth based on the things that we are seeing around. I think there's one man that I love so much. He's a great teacher and good communicator. His name is Andy Stanley. I don't know if you know Andy Stanley, but he's the author of one of my favorite books called Visionary. Now, Andy Stanley says that if you didn't know anything about your neighbors, okay? If you didn't know anything about your neighbors, would you have the closet that you have? Would you have the gadget that you have? Okay? Would you have the things that you admire? Would you think an iPhone is a great phone? If you had no clue, no idea about the things that the people around you have, would you have contentment with the things that you have? And that's a good question, because oftentimes most of the things that we do, the gadgets we want to have, the clothes we want to wear, are all based on what we see around us. And somehow we just feel so comfortable oftentimes when we have something that we know is trending on the market, when we have something that we know is better than what our neighbor has. Somehow we just feel so great. That is the same way, the same analogy, it is the same understanding that we also have to have when it comes to ambition and aspirations and all these other things. Because you can have the same dreams with someone. You can have the same dreams with someone, but not the same vision. Not the same vision. You can all have the dream of going to America. You can all have the dream of attaining a particular, you can all have the dream of attaining a particular paper. It could be master's paper or PhD paper, but you have a different vision, and that vision is how you use what you attain or what you have. What am I trying to say? I cannot copy and paste a vision, because a vision is about conviction. The vision that Judith will have will be unique to her, because vision emanates from a place of individuality, from a place of distinction, from a place that makes you a different person from me. And this is why I define vision as a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction it should be. If you have a vision, then it should be able to identify, or rather it should be able to have that conviction within you that it should be. Okay? If you have no conviction that this thing should be, it is not a vision, it's just an idea. Now, the reason why I can't copy another person's vision is because they have a clear mental picture that this thing should be. And so we may have the same ideas, but if an idea has been converted to a vision, it can't be copied. It can't be copied. You may sell the idea, but how it will be used by the people that will use it will be different. That is why even when people sell companies, when Mark Zuckerberg bought WhatsApp, he turned it in his own kind of vision. The vision that the first owners of WhatsApp had was not the way we use WhatsApp today. So yes, you can have peers that you may compete with, but understand that you should be able to invest in knowing your vision, because your vision will grow and you have to grow to match your vision. If you are not developing your vision, you're not investing in your vision, that's the only way you'll be able to feel as though you're not doing anything. That is the only way you'll be able to look at what other people are doing to seek validation. That is the only way you'll be able to begin comparing, and you lose your focus, because small distractions cause big distractions. And I'm using the two different distractions there. Small distractions, okay, cause big distractions. So it's important, it's very much critical for you to understand that you may have a vision, but believe in your vision, grow your vision, invest in your vision, bring around the right skills, with a skill set that will be able to nurture your vision, because your vision matters. Your vision is unique to you. Your vision cannot be copied. Your vision can only be nurtured and grown by you. So if you don't understand your vision, you will be distracted by the other glamorous things that your people, that your friends are doing. So it's important that you get to have that self-awareness. You get to have that competence, because competence is simply performing with confidence. If you are not performing with confidence, it means you are a bit insecure about your vision. If you're a bit insecure about your vision, it seems you have not fully understood your vision. So it is very much important that, in as much as other people will definitely be doing other things, because there will definitely be people that are better than you, but not better at your vision. There will definitely be people doing great things, you know, but not better or greater than your vision, because your vision is unique to you. We don't compare visions, okay, because they are unique, they're different. These are things that God places in us for us to develop, for us to run with. So if we invest in our vision, consumed by our vision, we will not have time to compare, we will not have time to think of what other people are thinking or doing. We will not seek validation from other outsiders who God has not shared our vision with. So the vision is a clear mental picture of what could be, fueled by the conviction it should be. When Judith and the team were planning for this, it was an idea. It wasn't a vision. It was an idea. But when they were convicted that this thing should be, it became a vision. So it begins from a could be, but it ends with a should be. And what makes it to be is the conviction that you have. If you don't have a vision on whatever ideas that you have, then they are still ideas and you are able to be distracted. Okay, but if you have that conviction that this thing should be, you should discipline yourself enough to not be distracted by what other people may be doing. I hope that helps.
Powerful, powerful submissions. I don't know if you have any more questions. Do you have any more questions from the group, guys? Or we can call it a day, because I think we have even overworked Dr. Clinton. But thank you very much for always turning up for CDF. CDF's main part at this point in time, because we normally call upon you and you're always available. I really appreciate you for the value that you have brought to the organization, and for the fact that you're always available to lend us a helping. And thank you very much, Dr. Clinton. And we look forward to even learning more from you onward.
No problem. You are welcome. And I'm always glad to be here, glad to share my gift of thoughts and just ensure that we get to grow one another. And there's much that I can learn from you, seriously. So don't think I am a person that has it all. My first book is called The Concept of a knowledge bank. And that is basically what I try to advocate for. I try to advocate people to begin to develop a knowledge bank. And you develop that by having intergenerational relationships with people that are older than you, people that are younger than you. You know, it all comes back to my 99% rule of networking. Don't just depend on your peers, because you never know what's ahead. Depend on those that have gone ahead, but also so that you're not too lost, have a relationship with those that are behind you. They'll be able to at least update you on the things that are happening. Yes, so thank you very much for the time, and I'm looking forward to the next session, everyone. Looking for the next session. I hope this has been eye-opening or at least even valuable to you. So thank you for your time, and I'm also glad that I shared this time with you all.
All right, thank you very much. And just before Dr. Clinton would want to leave, is there any participants that would want to say something in closing? To Dr. Clinton specifically, not to me. Any individual? You can just mute yourself. Okay, I think we can just allow Dr. Clinton to leave now, and then
Okay,
we'll try to make the meeting as public. Yes.
Oh no, it's okay. It's fine.
You can go ahead.
I just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Clinton on behalf of thing that we look forward to even learn more before we can call ourselves mentors or people that other people will look up to. So Dr. Clinton, we're very grateful. We are thankful for the time that you created for us, and we look forward to learning more from you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I'm humbled to be here once again. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Good night. You guys are free to leave. And then for us who have friends, because I've had people who are requesting, we'll make the sessions accessible, but the certificates will only be given to the mentors that are under this program, not everybody who comes to the meeting. So if ever you invite a friend, please be sure to clarify that with them, that the certificate will only be offered to the people who are undergoing the mentorship training.
Okay.